So now referring to the parts of the body, you have the cranial cavity, you have the vertebral cavity, so the vertebra, you have the thoracic cavity, superior to the abdominal cavity, and the abdominal cavity is superior yet to your pelvic cavity. Right now I'm facing you anteriorly, and you see my ventral side. The back of me will be my dorsal side. Okay? In the dorsal body cavity, it's the back of my head, my vertebra, my coccyx, the end of my vertebra, my anus, rectum, etc., etc., all in the back. As you move ventrally forward, you'll see more of like the pleural cavity where my lungs are. You'll see more of the pericardial cavity where my heart is. You'll see the diaphragm, or at least a part of the diaphragm, and of course the organs that are associated with each. In the retroperitoneal space, which is towards the back of the abdomen, that's going more dorsally, so it wouldn't be a ventral part of your body system. So muscles are located everywhere. So going back to the muscle cells and the muscle tissue, they like to be more alkalotic, so you don't see hydrochloric acid reaching anywhere near there. You'll see more smooth muscle taking on that frontal load because of the mucosal lining that it has, such as the esophagus, the stomach, etc., etc. From there, going even more toward the outside of your body, you'll have your skin. So your skin, the biggest organ system of your body, for protection, for absorption. So again, you're just like your cells, your skin can take in nutrients and excrete them. So for cells, it's called exocytosis, endocytosis. For your skin, it's called secretions, which can be through sweating, or it can be through whatever other toxic removal ways that your body gets rid of toxins, whether it be through air or by touching something else, convection, or through evaporation, for instance. Your skin also absorbs. So for instance, when you put lotion on your skin, your epithelial cells are not really eating the lotion. More so is that the fatty part of the lotion is healthy for the cells because it has natural vitamins and minerals that the cells need. So the large organ, which is the skin, absorbs through the different layers that it has: epidermis, dermis, hypodermis, etc., fascia, muscles. It takes in all of that, and then the tissue itself separates what kind of nutrients it wants, and then the cells reap the benefit. And then through mitotic division, these old skin cells die and new ones grow back. Alright, so that kind of sums up that group of things. It's also for protection. So the lotion that you put in your skin as well helps with protein synthesis as well as making cholesterol. So because of the fatty portion again of the lotion or of the balm or oil that you put on, so if you put oil on your skin, that's a form of monosaturated, like olive oil, unsaturated fatty acids, so it's easier for your skin to absorb. So once we understand that, we can now dive into how we decompose, as well as how we have reversible synthesis and how that affects our ability to metabolize things. So since our skin absorbs, we absorb food through our microvilli in our intestines and through digestion, through metabolism, of course. We break down things that's catabolic. We do it by mechanical or biochemical processes. Excuse me. But we build up protein via anabolism or protein synthesis. But it could go both ways, because just like in the energy cycle that I talked about before, with lactic acid fermentation, glycolysis, the Krebs cycle, it can reverse. So when that guy who was on the leg press machine was going a little hard, didn't have enough oxygen, again, his body is now reversing. It's going away from the high ATP yield to the lactic acid sore feeling yield. And that in turn decomposes extraneous enzymes and proteins that were used in the anabolic stage of creating ATP. That happens through the lysosomes, which is a part of the cell, as well as through recycling of parts of the proteins and other nutrients. Your dead skin cells, for instance, they're recycled and they're eaten by other cells, but not our cells. Or they're eaten by our cells as building blocks into their constituent parts. Okay? So from there, we understand that that process is more acidic because epithelial cells are avascular. They don't need a vasculature, meaning that those dead skin cells or those dead cells do not have oxygen. They do not have a blood supply. And whatever was supplying them with oxygen, of course, and with energy, sees no longer a reason to, so it dies off. Or it's of a detriment to the body. Okay? So, next thing from there is going to be the anatomical positions. So we have ions, molecules, etc. What does this have to do with anatomical position? Well, it goes back to when you're talking about cells, their acid-base environment, stem cells, gene expression, and function. So the skin is layered in such a way that it starts from the inside, protecting internal organs, all the way to the outside, protecting larger organs, as well as giving us the ability to have high sensitivity, protection, absorption, and even more selective permeability about what goes in and out of our body, and toxin secretion, as well as protection from UV radiation, okay, etc., etc. So, superior, inferior is going down, anterior, posterior, ventral, dorsal, lateral, so laterally, so like a lat pull down, no. This is actually a vertical longitudinal motion, but laterally, let's go that way. Proximal versus distal, so you measure that via joints. So my bicep is proximal to my elbow, but my wrist is distal to the elbow, distal to my bicep. My shoulder shoulder joint. You have the humerus proximal to the shoulder. You have the ulna serratia distal to the shoulder. So that's kind of going superior and inferior as well, but in 3D spaces in terms of 2D. Okay. You have sagittal, so sagittal cut, transverse cut. You also have mid-sagittal, so going toward the midline, and the midline is toward the middle of your body. Medial, so close to the midline, but not actually on the midline. So for instance, my right lung is medial to my heart. Because the heart is on the center, just the apex is tilted downward to the left side. My liver is medial to one of my kidneys in my dorsal part of my body. And going through it in that way is going to help you understand and learn it better. But it's pretty much a very quick overview, so I hope that answered any immediate questions, but I'm sure you guys are going to all study and get 100 on the exam. Alright, take it easy.